bit of defeat for the GOP. How can the party get back on track? With me now is Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell. He's the chairman of the Republican Governors Association. Governor, welcome to you.
Hi, Piers. Thanks for having me on.
Paul Ryan looked a bit sort of shell-shocked, you know, all the polling looked good, and then, wow, all these people came out for President Obama. Was it really that big a surprise? Every poll I was looking at in the last few weeks had Obama ahead by 2 or 3 points.
Piers, we were very optimistic heading into that final week or two. I thought Mitt Romney, after that first debate, had really convinced the American people that he was the right leader. They had the right ideas to build up the middle class, to get us out of debt and back to work. And I thought the prevailing wisdom, honestly, was if we were close or within a point going into Election Day, which many of the polls had, particularly Virginia, that the momentum on our side and the enthusiasm would carry the day. Wasn't so. Democrats did a great job on voter turnout, and their closing argument turned those undecided voters towards the president, not away from him. So I congratulate the president on his win.
When Paul Ryan refers to the urban vote coming out, what exactly do you think he meant by that?
The Democrats' base, I think, has largely been in some of the big population centers in the cities. That's certainly been the case in Virginia. And it's evidence of a very good ground game in organizing and bringing people to the polls in bigger numbers. So we had the same turnout in Virginia in 12 that we had in 08, which was about 76%. We didn't think it would be that big. So, again, credit to the ground game of the president. It shows that we have to do a better job with technology, with turnout, with the tone of our message, and being able to convince people not just 90 days before an election, but around the year that the conservative ideas are better for them, their kids, their grandkids, and the future of the country.
Paul Ryan also said that he didn't believe President Obama had a mandate to increase taxation, which I thought was a bit ridiculous, given President Obama was re-elected. He's got the perfect mandate. The American people have spoken, and they've said, we're re-electing you. He can raise taxation if he wants to, can't he?
There's probably a fair argument as what really drove the president's victory. Was it, in fact, because he said that we should tax millionaires and billionaires, as that's the reason he won? I guess you'd call it a mandate. It was certainly a closer election this year than it was in 2008. But, you know, the close doesn't matter. The president won, and their team gets to govern in the Senate and the presidency. And so I think what's important now is Republicans and Democrats in Washington do what they haven't been able to do for 4 years, and that is to find a way to get our country back to work and out of debt. This is an immoral and unsustainable problem that we've got with $16 trillion debt. There's some fault for the president. The Republicans now have to find a way to find that middle ground in the next 60 days, or we go over a cliff and it's bad for the entire country. So there's work to do, and we need to do it without capitulating on our principles, and that is cut spending, reform entitlements, and then find whatever revenues make sense to grow the economy.
And talking of things falling off cliffs, you're down in Vegas with fellow governors Haley Barbour and Bobby Jindal, but also Chris Christie, who's taken some flack for so embracing the president over the hurricane that hit New Jersey. Many people saying maybe he swung voters away from Mitt Romney. Will you be chucking him over a cliff tomorrow?
Not at all. Chris is a great governor. He does what all of us did during that Superstorm Sandy. What I've done with 3 or 4 other storms and blizzards and tornadoes is you push your people in your state first. Partisanship goes out the window when you've got a natural disaster, and you do what you do to take care of your people. So I think there were numerous other factors that had to do with the reason that we didn't pick up seats in the Senate and the president won. No, well, look, we're a united group. Pierce, we got 30 Republican governors, the most in 12 years for either party. 180 million people have Republican governors. We've gone from 22 to 30 Republican governors since Chris Christie and I won in 2009. At the state level, people are electing conservative, results-oriented, can-do, positive, optimistic Republican governors. That's what we're doing, and that's why Bobby Jindal, Chris Christie, and Scott Walker will be leading the organization going forward. We're going to continue to win.
Funny, what do you make of what's going on with all these generals? Because there seems to be something in the air.
Well, I spent a fair amount of time in the military myself, 21 years. Piers, it's an incredibly honorable profession. General Petraeus was an unbelievably astute and competent and brave battlefield commander that had immense respect from his people. I think that's why the president put him in charge of the world's greatest intelligence agency, the CIA. It's obviously a heartache for himself and his family. He admitted clearly that this was a failing that should not keep him in that job, and so he's done what he thought was best for the country and himself and his family. So obviously it's disappointing, but I'm more concerned really at this point about the unanswered questions in Benghazi generally. Why weren't we prepared on 9/11? Why didn't we send help when it was requested? Why are we blaming this on a video when it was a coordinated attack on 9/11 and pretty much everybody knew that? So I hope Congress is interested in getting to the heart of the matter on why we're not protecting our folks overseas when we know that they're at risk.
Well, the hearings will start later the week, and we'll get some answers, hopefully. Governor, thank you very much for joining me.
Okay, Piers. Thank you.